أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم with another program on the values of Ahl al-Bayt that I call the program Ahl al-Bayt in the World. Your host, Sayyid Hassan Naqavi, is at your service. We normally try to concentrate or focus on the services provided to the humanity by the Ahl al-Bayt, the members of Ahl al-Bayt. And inshallah today we're going to be talking about our sixth divine supreme leader, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. But before we do that, we always start with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. And I recite one of the salutations from the book of Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam called As-Sahifat Sajjadiyah. It is also known as As-Sahifat al-Kamila, in which he salutes Prophet Muhammad and his household. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم يا من خص محمدا وآله بالكرامة وحباهم بالرسالة وخصصهم بالوسيلة وجعلهم ورثة الأنبياء وختم بهم الأوصياء والأئمة وعلمهم علم ما كان وما بقي وجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم فصل على محمد وآله الطاهرين وافعل بنا ما أنت أهله في الدين والدنيا والآخرة إنك على كل شيء قدير صلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. And with that, a few points from the blessed life of our sixth divine supreme leader, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. He was born, we normally talk about the Islamic date, but I will tell you the Gregorian date or the Christian era date. According to that, he was born on the 23rd of April, the year 702, Christian era. And he was martyred on the 7th of December of the year 765, Christian era, which will make him 63 years of age at the time of his martyrdom. So, I am actually going to concentrate on his services to humanity. As I told you, I have named the program Ahl al-Bayt and the World. Ahl al-Bayt and humanity. We all want to see, we all want to know what is in it for me. We all say to one another, what have you done for me lately? So let us see what has our Imam done for us. Not only for me, not only for you, but for the whole humanity. As we know, all of our Imams are the leaders of humanity, regardless if anybody believes in them or does not believe in them, because that will not change a thing. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna dhanna la tughni min al-haqqi shay'a. Doesn't matter what you think, it's not going to change the reality. So our Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, as I call him divine supreme leader, that's our Imam, our spiritual leaders. They are divine, they are from Allah, they are supreme, nobody else can surpass them in knowledge or in any other field of humanity. They are supreme beings. They are supreme human beings. So from a very, very young age, our Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, from a tender age of about 10 years or 11 years, he was a full-fledged scholar. And I dare say he was a full-fledged scientist. And he was a philosopher. You name it. And he was. So at a very young age, he had refuted the idea that the sun and the other stars revolve around the earth. He refuted that. And he gave some beautiful, beautiful arguments. Unfortunately, we don't have time now, but you can do your own research under your fingertips. So, at a very tender age, our divine supreme leader, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he refuted the idea that the sun or other planets revolve around the earth, but it is the earth that revolves around the sun. He also refuted the theory that all the great scholars of Greece and Alexandria believed in. And they were holding tight. They were holding on to those ideas, and they would fight to death to defend their ideas. But our Imam alayhi salatu wasalam refuted it, and he proved it wrong. And that idea was the theory of 4 elements. That everything on earth is earth, water, fire, and air. And he, may he be divinely blessed, alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, no, these are not 4 elements, but each one comprised of more elements. So he said that earth has many elements in it. Water is also has more elements in it. So does fire, gases, and air, more gases. I'm trying to go briefly because I challenge you to do your research, see what you find. That is a sign of a live brain. We should all be live. We should not take anything from anybody. Whoever tells us anything, we should not take it. We should go up, get up, and do our own research. He also gave us, our Imam, our divine supreme leader, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, at a very young age. He gave us the idea of the origin of the universe. And he said, and I quote from my research, he said, and this is in English of course, the universe was born out of a tiny particle which had 2 opposite poles. That particle produced an atom. In this way, matter came into being. Then the matter diversified. This diversification was caused by the density or rarity of the atoms. Imam a.s. also stated that everything in the universe, including objects that are inanimate, that means that are not living, they are all moving, they are all in motion. Although we may not perceive it so. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Holy Quran, people think that the mountains are not moving. But هي تمر مر السحاب. But the mountains are moving like the cloud. Like who can detect the motion of clouds? Clouds come quietly, clouds go quietly. But it is us who miss the point. But our Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, 1,400 years ago, he told us all of this. His contribution to physics and literature, or maybe I should say his great contributions to science and literature are countless. I cannot count it. He also gave us the composition of human body, what human body contains, what elements, and so on and so forth. He also gave us the discovery of hydrogen. You can do your own research. See what you find. I challenge you. He also gave us the theory of light. Beautiful things. 4 major theories he gave us. He gave us the theory of light. He gave us a theory of transfer of disease by rays. He gave us a theory of matter and antimatter, or antimatter if you wish. He gave us a theory of the light of the stars. And again, I'm telling you, you do your own research, see what you find. He also gave us another thing that everybody is crying nowadays about. There's a big cry about it. Some people know it as pollution of environment. Some people call it as global warming. You can give it any other name, but our Imam told us already, 1,400 years ago, he told us. He told us to be careful as to how we use our worldly resources. He also had a few ideas about science and philosophy, because everybody thought until that time that science and philosophy are one and the same thing. Our Imam alayhi salam, 1,400 years ago, he says that is wrong. And he gave us 2 parts. He says the first part is such: as science and philosophy are 2 different subjects. Science gives us definite and exact results, even if they are small and insignificant. However, philosophy serves no practical purpose, but gives us no useful results. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam was not a physician by profession. He was not a doctor, but he introduced and formulated methods of diagnosis and treatment in the field of medicine. Western scholars find it very hard to believe how he could have introduced certain diagnoses 1,400 years ago. But we have no doubt, because we call them divine, supreme leaders, because they are the masters of every field that you can think of. They can speak your language. May it be Japanese, may it be Chinese, may it be Pashto, may it be Persian, may it be any language. May it be gibberish. Any language you speak, they understand. He also gave the mothers a very good advice of keeping their babies on the left side, because he also said, or it has been proven, that the babies, while they're in the womb of the mother, they hear the heartbeat and they get used to it, so much so that when there's a flicker or there is a little disturbance in the heartbeat, the baby in the womb gets disturbed. And that heartbeat, or that familiarity to that heartbeat, they bring with them into the world, and they are so used to it. And when the mother puts them on the left side of her own body, that the baby is very, very comfortable. These were just a few things I wanted to talk to you about, because we always say our Imam's this and our Imam's that, and we love them to death. We will defend them to death. But I always, inshallah, will try to bring out the points that will make it very clear as to why do we do this? Why do we love them so much? Why? What have they done for me? What have they done for you? What have they done for humanity? Look what they've done today. That I just shared a few points. What our Imam Sadiq ﷺ, like I call him, our supreme divine leader, he has done or has contributed to science and technology. And inshallah, I will end by saying this little excerpt from one of the other dua tawassul, which is found by At-Tusi, Sheikh At-Tusi. Almost finishing, and inshallah, join me if you can, or join me when you hear this program as a rerun. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد معجل فرجه. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على السيد الصادق الصديق العالم الوثيق الحليم الشفيق الهادي إلى الطريق الساقي شيعته من الرحيق ومبلغ أعدائه إلى الحريق إن شاء الله. صاحب الشرف الرفيع والحسب المنيع والفضل الجميع الشفيع ابن الشفيع المدفون بالبقيع المهذب المؤيد الإمام الممجد أبي عبد الله جعفر بن محمد صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله يا ابن أمير المؤمنين يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا. إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا في الدنيا والآخرة يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. And inshallah with that, until next time, Khuda Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.